Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm excited for today's video because this is my first requested video ever. Somebody commented on a recent video that they were wanting to see this. So of course I was super excited to go out and buy this product so that I can show you. And my makeup is not all the way done because I will actually be using this later in the video. So today I am going to be reviewing Makeup Revolution's I Heart Chocolate palette, and I will be comparing this to my Too Faced chocolate bar palette. This is supposedly a dupe for it, so we will see how it compares, how the color compares, the formula, the application. I'm actually going to apply them to one on one side, one on the other side, and see how close they actually are and if you can tell a difference. Alright, so this was the box that it came in. And here is the packaging. I actually love the packaging on this. It definitely looks like a chocolate bar that has melted. It's kind of adorable. It's not as sturdy as the Too Faced. The Too Faced is a metal palette and this one is plastic, but it still seems fairly sturdy. Let's see if I can actually open it. And when you open it, the names of the shadows are on this little clear plastic thing. So if you get rid of that, you don't have the names of them, but who really needs to know the names of their shadows unless you're doing something like this? So it comes with a double-ended eye sponge, which I will not use, but here are the shadows. Now, just on first glance, they are very similar. Right away, just looking at this compared to what I normally see in my chocolate bar, this shade definitely looks more green than in the chocolate bar, and this is the highlight shade that I use in my chocolate bar all the time. This doesn't look quite as pink. It looks a little bit more of a golden pink than a pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to swatch them side by side and show you close up what they look like and how they feel, each individual shade, and then I will put them on my eyes. So hopefully this won't end up being too horribly long, but so here they are side by side. Again, they look very, very similar. So now let me go ahead and start swatching. We're gonna start with the big light shade, the top. This is white chocolate in the chocolate bar. Just touching it, this shade is very, very soft, velvety, like that felt so good, so soft. Now this is a shade that I use normally to just set my eyeshadow primer. So I use this one quite often, but it's not one that I use to have a whole lot of color. Now, feeling the difference, this one is soft as well, but it is not quite as soft. It's very, 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 very close though. Now, looking at these, I know you can't see these very well on my hand. I will try and get a close-up of them, but you can't see that at all. The Makeup Revolution one is ever so slightly lighter and has a little bit more of a pink undertone. So we started with this top shade, and I think I'm just gonna go down the rows. So the next one in this is the green shade. All right, so on the chocolate bar palette, it is called Gilded Ganache. There is Gilded Ganache. Now, on the chocolate bar, it does not look very green when you actually apply it. And honestly, it just has a slight green tint on the palette anyways. But to me, it looks very brown when you put it on with a little bit of an olive undertone. Anyways, in the Makeup Revolution palette, the green shade is called Piece Me Together. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch that one right next to it. So we have Gilded Ganache, and then here is, now it looks more green in the pan, but on the hand, it's actually very similar. It's taking a lot more product to build up that pigment, but very, very similar. Both have about the same size of gold glitter flecks in them, very close in shade. So, like I said though, it did take more product to build up the pigment, and I feel like the Too Faced one is more of a brown shade with warm undertones, and then this one has a little bit more of a gray than a brown when you actually apply it. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but there's that. Alright, so next up in the palette is this very light brown shade, and in this one it is called One More Piece. And in the Too Faced chocolate bar, it is called Milk Chocolate. right here. Now, I actually haven't used the milk chocolate shade a whole lot in the Too Faced. It's a really light brown. So there is the milk chocolate. That's just one swipe. And then with the Makeup Revolution, one more piece. There is one swipe. I'm gonna get a little bit more so you can see. Now, I am noticing that it is taking more product with the Makeup Revolution, so you'll have to build it up more. But the shades are very similar. This one is slightly darker, I believe. Has a little bit more of a neutral brown undertone. This one has a little bit more of a yellow undertone, in my opinion. And so far the Makeup Revolution ones haven't been quite as buttery as the Too Faced ones, but they are still very soft. They're a little bit harder to the touch. Like I said, you have to build up the product a little bit more. All right, next up is a favorite in the Too Faced, but in the Makeup Revolution, it's this next shade right here, and it is called Love Tom. It is I don't even know how to describe this shade. It's beautiful. The chocolate bar is anyways. So we're gonna go with the Too Faced, and it is Black Forest Truffle in Too Faced. So like, look at that. Oh, that is like to die for. That is gorgeous. So smooth, so buttery, goes on like a dream. Love it. It's kind of a burgundy brown shade. It definitely has some red burgundy colors in there, and then it has gold glitter. So very, very beautiful. All right, so here is the Makeup Revolution. Again, I'm having to dig my finger in this a little bit more. Here's that, very, very close. Again, see, it trails off. You've got to get a little bit more product. This one has a little bit more red in it. You see that? This one definitely looks different to me. And on the eyes, I bet this one really looks a lot different. It has more red. Again, here's the Makeup Revolution, and here is the Too Faced. They both have gold glitter in them. The Too Faced seems to have a little bit more glitter in it. Yeah, this is just more of a brown burgundy, and this is more of a burgundy, which it's still pretty. It's just different. It's not the same shade at all. All right, so we are to the last shade in the top row. This is a really deeper chocolate brown, and this is called Stolen Chocolate in the Makeup Revolution. Again, I'm gonna go in first with the Too Faced, and it's called Triple Fudge. Let's see here. All right, this one in the Too Faced, it's not quite as smooth and pigmented. Even when I touched it, it's a little bit harder. It takes a little bit more to build the pigment up. So there is the Too Faced chocolate bar. All right, now Makeup Revolution feels about the same as the Too Faced chocolate bar. Very similar in shade. Again, there is a slight difference. In my opinion, the Too Faced is a little bit more cool toned. This has just a slightest bit warmer, but they went on about the same. They were both a little patchy compared to the other Too Faced shadows. All right, next we are going to the second row. Now we're going to start with this right here, and this is called Thank Friday. And in Too Faced, it is called Salted Caramel. So we are going to start with Too Faced. Oh, here you go. There is Salted Caramel. This one's pretty soft and buttery. There's that. It's a very warm toned. This one in Makeup Revolution actually feels really soft. My voice feels a little scratchy. I had some allergic reactions yesterday, and so my throat is a little bit sore from that. So, all right, these are very, very similar. Again though, the Makeup Revolution, it was really soft, but it's taking a lot more product to build it up. And this right here is the Makeup Revolution, and see, it's still not quite as solid as the Too Faced. These are very, very similar. All right, the next shade is my all-time favorite shade in the Too Faced chocolate bar. The Makeup Revolution, it is this shade right here, and it's called More from Makeup Revolution, but it is Marzipan right here in the chocolate bar. If you've seen any of my tutorials with this, Marzipan is my all-time favorite shade, and I'm terrified because there's a big old divot in it. It's gonna be gone, but... So here we go. We're gonna start with Marzipan, because it's gorgeous. It is my favorite. Look at that. Like, do you see how gorgeous that shade is? This all over the lid is just a gorgeous everyday go-to shade for me. Anyways, all right, let's see how Makeup Revolution matches up. Again, it's a little bit harder. Wow, okay, that is, can you see it? To me, it's a very different shade. It's pretty, but I don't think it shows up quite as much on camera. The Too Faced Marzipan is more of a pink color. It's not pink, but it has more pink undertones. And then this one has more of a gold yellow undertone. Both very pretty. And this one in the Makeup Revolution was actually quite pigmented. So I think it's gonna be gorgeous. It's just a different shade. It is not a dupe for my all-time favorite shade. So we're now to this medium brown shade, and it is called Pleasure Girl in the Makeup Revolution. And in the Too Faced Chocolate Bar, it is called Semi Sweet. I use this one a lot for a transition shade. So here we go. All right, so here is Too Faced Semi Sweet. So that one didn't show up as much as some of the other ones on one swipe, and it's actually not as soft. But it is a gorgeous transition color. It builds up nice and light. It's not too, for me, I like that it's not that pigmented because it builds up slowly. For a transition, it's perfect. All right, and then here is the Makeup Revolution. And I feel like the Makeup Revolution was actually a little smoother and more pigmented. Makeup Revolution and Too Faced. This time I feel like the Makeup Revolution is a little bit more reddish undertone. All right, this next shade I don't really use in Too Faced, but it is the light pink shade, and it is called Meat Chocolate. Like M-E-E-T, Meat Chocolate. And in Too Faced, it is Strawberry Bonbon. Looking at them in the pan, the Makeup Revolution looks a little bit darker. Super soft in the Too Faced, so let's watch that baby. Not a whole lot going on. And that's one thing I can't see it on my skin very well. Very, 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 very light pink. And then here is the Makeup Revolution. These to me look the same. It's really hard to see these on my skin because my skin is so light, but in person these look the same to me. Alright, the next shade in here is the purple shade. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed in the Too Faced purple shade. I don't ever use it because it doesn't show up purple. But on here, it is Unforgivable. And in the Too Faced, it is Candied Violet. It may just be that I don't know how to use it, but I just haven't gotten this purple to look good on me, and I like purple, so. It's pretty on my hand. I need to try it again. I don't know. It is a kind of dusty looking purple. See, it's so gorgeous on my hand. I don't know. And it has little pink glitters in it. All right, and Makeup Revolution, here we go. There they are. Very similar, right? They both have little pink glitters in them. These are extremely similar. I'm trying to point out a difference in them. If I were to say anything, this one has a little bit more of a red purple and this is more of a blue purple, but only very, very slightly. All right, here is the last shade in the row, and it is called Love Divine on this one, and the Too Faced is Amaretto. And I have used this one quite a lot. I like this one, and there is why. This one has a gorgeous metallic-y sheen to it. It is, I don't even know how to describe this color. It's kind of a brown shade with burgundy sheen, like copper, not really copper, but kind of a coppery burgundy, like I don't even know what you would call this color. All right, and here is the Makeup Revolution. This one, right off the bat, it looks more coppery to me. The base shadow looks more coppery than brown. They both have a sheen to them. They are slightly different sheens. This one actually to me just looks straight up copper when it's swatched. I don't really see much burgundy in that at all. So Too Faced and Makeup Revolution. We are down to the bottom row. Let's dig into this. Okay, we have Smooth Criminal from Makeup Revolution, and we have Hazelnut. All right, so Too Faced is up first. Oh, that one's so soft. All right, here is Hazelnut. Beautiful brown shade. I love this one a lot. The browns in this palette, I just love it. All right, and then here's Makeup Revolution. Makeup Revolution's Smooth Criminal. Right next to it. Again, doesn't go quite as far. Oh my gosh, but they are like the same. If you darken that up, I think this one's, Too Faced is a little bit darker, but the tones look kind of spot on to me. So those are close enough. All right, next up is this kind of golden, metallic-y golden in Chocolate Love from Makeup Revolution. And it is Creme Brulee and Too Faced. We go in with Too Faced's Creme Brulee. I love it. This is making me fall in love with my Too Faced chocolate bar palette so much more. Like, I already love this palette, but oh, look at that shade. That is gold and gorgeous. Makeup Revolution right next to it. Let's see. It is a little bit more of a yellow toned gold. Again, it doesn't quite go as far. Very similar in color though. Very, very similar. This one, but the Makeup Revolution is slightly more yellow undertoned. But they are both very metallic-y, they're very, very similar actually. This next shade is another favorite from my Too Faced chocolate bar palette. It is, and this one it's called You Need More. And this is the one that I call hot chocolate, but some people call hot chocolate. But it is a gorgeous, shimmery chocolate shade. Here we go. So here is the Too Faced Beauty. Yes, yes, and yes, I love it. How beautiful is that? Look at that shade. All right, so, and then here is Makeup Revolutions. Right next to it. Very similar. That one's actually really, really similar. I think it has a slight bit more red in it, but those shades are very, very, very similar. So it's a little bit warmer than the other one. And then the sheen on them is a little bit different. I actually think the Makeup Revolution is ever so slightly shinier, but yeah. They are a little bit different, but very, very similar. Next up is a cranberry burgundy shade. This one is called What a Way to Go. This is, it looks, in the pan it looks like it has more glitter than the Too Faced. Too Faced is Cherry Cordial. All right, so Too Faced first. This one in the Too Faced is not its smoothest shadow. It's a little bit rough feeling. It does pull out enough product, but it just feels a little more rough. So there is Too Faced Cherry Cordial. This one is, it looks very matte with a little bit of tiny sparkle, like little bit of tiny sparkles in it. And they're so small, it's hard for me to tell what color they are. And then here's Makeup Revolution, and this one I'm expecting to be a little different. All right, so here it goes. Oh yeah, that is so pretty. It's pretty pigmented. This one is definitely more red, definitely more of a burgundy shade. They look similar in the pan, but the Too Faced comes off more of a brown burgundy. And then this one, I mean, this is red. This is burgundy. I don't see as much sparkle on my hand than I did in the pan, but very, very pretty. So these are very, very different shades, but beautiful. That is so pretty. All right, the last shade that I'm testing, well, the last shade in the palette is one that I use for my highlight almost every day. This is my favorite highlight shade of all times. And in the Makeup Revolution, it is called Endorphins Ready. And in the Too Faced chocolate bar, it is Champagne Truffle. All right, so Champagne Truffle from Too Faced. It is a beautiful, very, very light highlighty shade. And in the pan, it is pink. And it is a light, light pink shade, but the shimmer in it is a, what would you call that? Kind of a champagne color shimmer. So it's just the perfect highlight for me. All right, and here is Makeup Revolution. On my finger, they look very similar. So Makeup Revolution, please be the same. All right, it's not quite as much. It's not quite as pigmented, so let me put a little bit more on there. But they look so similar, which makes me happy because that means I have more of my favorite highlight. It takes a little bit more of it to build it up. But holy cow, those look so much alike. I'm so glad that they nailed it on the highlight shade because that is beautiful. Super excited to put these on my eyes now. So I'm not going to show you a whole lot of this because this video is already so long. So I'm going to kind of quickly put this on so you can see just what they look like on the eyes. How long has that been there? Oh no. Okay, so I've had eyeshadow on my chin and I don't know how long, so please forgive me. Looking at these, they look very similar. I can see some differences in person. The lid shade, which is Marzipan, and the Too Faced is slightly different. Not something that someone would stop me and say, hey, that looks different. And then the brown shades were just a little bit different. But all in all, they look very similar. You can get basically the same look from the Makeup Revolution palette. Okay. So I have finished up the eyes for both of them. They look very similar, like I said. All right, I'm gonna kind of just wrap this up and kind of let you know my final thoughts on, is this a dupe, is it not? You've seen the individual colors and what I think about each one, but just as a whole, do you need the chocolate bar or will this work? Didn't mention this earlier, but I wanted to go ahead and mention this. This one does not smell like chocolate at all to me. I have heard people say that it has a very slight chocolate smell, but no, I don't smell any chocolate. I smell, honestly, what it smells like to me, it smells like kid makeup. It smells like that powdery, chemically kid kind of makeup. But it doesn't have an overwhelming scent of it. That's if you stick your nose in it and stuff. Like, if you do that, it smells a little bit like kid makeup to me. But generally, it doesn't really have a scent at all. The Too Faced chocolate bar has a very strong chocolate scent, and that is one thing that I absolutely love about this palette. Again, is that necessary? No, it's not, but if that's something that you enjoy, then you're definitely going to want the chocolate bar over the Makeup Revolution palette. The Too Faced shadows are creamier. They are slightly more pigmented for the most part. The shades that I use most often are very, very pigmented, very smooth, very blendable. I don't really have a negative thing to say about the Too Faced. these shadows, it takes a little bit more product on most of the shades. I will say this transition shade that I used was more pigmented than I was expecting, and I put it on and it was like, whoa, that's a lot. So they are very good shadows. Do they compare to the Too Faced? You know, it's kind of a personal preference. These are a little bit powderier. When I was putting them on, I could see more powder in the air. They're a little bit harder. They're not quite as creamy and soft and buttery, but they are gorgeous colors. There are some colors in here that I love. Like this one, I am super excited to put that on my eyes. So which one do you get? You know, this one is a whole lot cheaper than this one. So if you don't have the money to spend and you're wanting to get a look kind of like you can with the Too Faced chocolate bar, then this will definitely do it. My eyeshadow, to me, looks the same. You can't really tell a whole lot of difference. The end result is about the same. So is it a dupe? Is it not a dupe? Again, I kind of feel like that's a personal preference. I don't think it's not an exact dupe. The colors are not all exactly the same. The finish is not exactly the same, but you can get a similar look with it. So this is only available in the UK. So if you are in the US like I am, you have to pay some shipping. You basically have to pay the same amount for shipping as the product costs. I think it was about $26. Yeah, I think it ended up being about $26 for me to get this here. If you're in the UK, it's a no-brainer. it doesn't cost much at all. So packaging's gorgeous. I love it. I'm gonna use it. But the Too Faced chocolate bar will still be a all-time favorite of mine. If I owned this one, I would still buy the Too Faced chocolate bar. But that's just me. I love it. So yeah, I don't know if that was very definitive for anybody. Hopefully that helped by breaking down the different shadows and seeing how they compare side by side. Yeah, and I am super excited. Thank you so much for recommending this video. I actually didn't even know about this palette. I had seen pictures of this palette, but I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know it was supposed to be a dupe. So if you have further suggestions, leave them in the comments below, and I would definitely be happy to test out other fun makeup. So, alright, that is it for this video, guys, and I will see you next time. Stay gorgeous. Bye! Okay, guys, I wanted to go ahead and throw this in there. After I was done filming, I was doing the swatches on my arms for the close-ups, and the Makeup Revolution ones were causing a small allergic reaction on my arm. They, when I took the eyeshadows off, there were little red bumps on my arm, so I went ahead and quickly took it off of my eyes just in case something happened. So if you have super sensitive skin, I'm actually going to recommend just stay away from this. I don't know that I'm allergic to every single shade, but testing it on my arm definitely told me, like I could clearly see the marks, the spots where the Makeup Revolution ones were, red whelps. It didn't stay super long, but I was allergic to them, so keep that in mind. We're gonna go in with the Too Faced purple, and it may just, wow, that was a weird sound. Okay, so next, well, my eyes just got really red. And I'm sorry for the hair, it's a little crazy right now. I'm getting it done on Tuesday. What? Let me just tear. The highlight shade that I use, oh, let's not show the sweatpants.